Good evening, everybody, and welcome into the National Farm Machinery Show 2025 prediction show. Shane and Wyatt here. Charles was slated to be here tonight, but he had something come up to where he couldn't be here. So, unfortunately, there will be three classes we don't do tonight, which will be our diesel 4x4 trucks, super farms, and the four-wheel drive trucks. But we still have our classes to present to you guys tonight, and we are going to, man, why it's been a tough process, right? And we will release those predictions maybe as soon as tomorrow. We're going to figure that out. It was extremely last minute, so we will get them out, but we've still got 6 classes to get through tonight. And man, it's been a tough one. Wyatt, neither one of us have seen what the other one got on the other PowerPoint here. So this is going to be a lot of fun. That was a rule we kind of made amongst ourselves, is to not let each other see them. So Wyatt, you've got 2-wheelers. You've got 24 of those. Dual fuels there are 12, and then modified there's 12. Let's go back. Let's flash back to last year. You said we went 104 for 44, right? As far as predictions last year.
Yeah, last year we went 72.2%, which was 104 for 104 correct for 144 total guesses, not including pro stocks. Pro stocks, there's 48 of them, and the last couple of years have not been filled all spots. So pretty well at that point, it's new vehicles or returning ones like the Linder Brothers or Coors and Mule. We'll let that up to the committee to release them. For us, it'd be throwing just a whole bunch of names into a pot and say, yeah, they're going to be in. Whereas these classes that we've got here tonight, especially tool drive, light pro, limited pro, light super, they got to be the hardest to predict. Last year it was hard enough, but with this year, you don't know where you don't know where to go.
No.
Tool drive alone.
Yeah, tool drive was hard on us last year.
I have a map. I have a map that I've been creating that is showing all the locations the committee has to take consideration for some of these classes, such like tool drive, whether it's KTPA, TNT, NTPA, PPL, Outlaw. There's 200, 250 polls they got to look at for results to see how these guys compete against each other. Not alone what these guys put on results for their entry or application in the farm show. So going through this is definitely a lengthy process that you spend nights on when you're not doing stuff during the day. It's a lot of thinking. It's a lot of head scratching. And all in all, at the end, it's basically just throwing a blindfold over your eyes and throwing a dart at the dartboard and hoping you hit a bullseye. So,
yeah. Of course, last year we had a couple of classes where we got 10 out of 12. We never went perfect, but we're going to give it our best shot this year. And man, I'm excited. I've gotten to see a lot of people this year. I love new vehicles as well. So this is going to be a lot of fun. And Adam Flores here, bring back farm stock. Maybe one of these days. But what do you want to start with? I say we alternate going back and forth since it's going to be the two of us. I think we kick off with yours first.
Yeah. This year was my list starts off with tool drive itself. Tool drive is hard just because if you look at the NTPA alone, the NTPA had a crossover of nothing we've seen before, especially with some outlaw guys going from their own outlaw circuit to completely run the Grand National circuit and doing very well. They did well last year on the Outlaws. They've done well in the past, and some will be surprising, but some won't be, just based upon historic nature of the farm show. So, we can start with them first. We'll go right into it. So, basically on a slideshow PowerPoint is what you're going to see in the first class will be tool drives. First slide here is basically a list of champions and defending champions that have won either association points or defend their farm show title. And here's how it starts out. And as you can see in the parentheses beside them, either have some sort of notoriety as a points champion or a high ranking in a point series. So right off the top, I'll start with the top 3 of them. Suffering Sanity, Chase Richardson won the NTPA Grand National Points title. Sweet Revenge is your defending farm show champion. And Corn Burner, Jason Sullivan, repping the shirt, guy right down the road from me, won the PPL
Yeah.
Cup. I think those three are for sure in just right off the bat. You can just throw them right in there. That's easy to say.
Donnie with the big stick right after Jason there, I see.
Donnie with the big stick. Donnie, last year's ring winner in Bowling Green. Very well again this year, traveled anywhere. I mean, he traveled out to Texas. He went basically anywhere and everywhere with that entire team. You really can't have Louisville without having Sullivan's in one perspective. So
yeah, exactly.
Midnight Revenger battled Jason Sullivan for the points championship. Came down to the very last hook. You really can't have him out of it because runner up in points PPL, runner up in the finals last year at Farm Show. There's another one I think is for sure in.
Buffalo's Chips, your outlaw champ, making his way back in.
Yeah, obviously outlaw champ should be your automatic bid to get in. Had a great year. Definitely tough competition, especially with those in the bottom right corner. As you can see, Whippet and Little Whip being your second and third in points. Going over to the Apex truck, Will Teasley was there last year. Again, defending his title, winning Mid-South again.
He had a heck of a year too, man. Picked up a lot of wins. But whenever he went out and ran the Champions Tour, he ran well too.
Yes, absolutely. Competes everywhere he goes. Did it last year in Farm Show. I suspect that same success again. The next one is definitely a newcomer. Pain in the Cash. I don't have any previous memory of this truck other than earlier in the season watching it. Obviously one OSTPA points. Granted, for anybody watching, we do not know who applied. We just go off of results.
Yeah.
And what we've seen.
Purely based off numbers and what we can find and dig and spend a lot of time on, to be quite frank.
Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm throwing it next. Wild and Blue, next one on the list, was the Farm Show last year. Again, won Region 4 and
had a really good showing last year at Farm Show too, if I remember right.
Yep, and obviously heavy hitter in the Carolinas.
Yeah.
Next one, the next two I will say are I would say to the main crowd is your most unknown associations. KTPA with Midnight Obsession, the old Wicked truck, and then Monkey Business with Carries around TNT. So both points champions there. Midnight Obsession picked up more than 65% of the wins for the KTPA this year.
Yeah. So he runs Mid-South too whenever he gets the chance. And he went to Brandenburg. He placed in the top 3 in Brandenburg one of the nights, I think.
I believe it was Saturday. I remember that. He did very, very well down there. It was a good showing. I'm going to keep moving right along. We got a lot to go through. Taz, as I said before, Outlaw trucks running Grand National. They come right over the Grand National circuit and got runner-up in points. So, obviously, it's an old Messer truck. It runs amazing, and those boys know how to run them. Can't have Louisville, honestly, without Jesse Petro, Buckeye Hauler, finished in the top 5 in Grand National points. No reason to not have him in there. I mean, the dude has got how many championships, how many wins? So
yeah, exactly.
That kind of speaks for itself. Old Blue was in last year, won Region 2 again. Chad Mayhill and Shannon Mins. Again, coming back this year, I would believe, is the Corzine family with Rekindled, was your ITPA points winner. Very, very competitive truck. And the Corzines, they know how to make a run. Last two, obviously, on this slide, last two were Whippet and Little Whip of the Nelsons. Very competitive, not only in this class, but in the modified class as well. And they were there last year again. I don't see them not going again this year. Now moving to the back half and the final ones. Now, these are more or less, I would say, my guess is throwing them a blindfolded dart. So Sauced Up was your runner-up in OSTPA points. Keeners, originally a super stock, moved over two-wheel drive and doing very well. They were at Louisville last year, had a good showing. Is it a possibility they don't make it? Yes, but with their very consistent running on the OSTPA circuit, along with when they ran regionals as well as the TPA, It's a very competitive truck. I would not be surprised they get in. Sprock Farms says WS, which is Western Series champion. They tied with their other truck to win the points. This one won by tiebreaker, and that is a very tough truck. I've seen it run in person. It's the Badger State boys and beat them. So if you know any of the Badger State trucks, they win Grand National hooks too, like Toma. So it's no slouch. Tim Messer with the Invisalign truck finished in the top 5 PPL points, had back-to-back wins this year, competing with the Nelsons and Jason Sullivan and Mayhill and Jesse Petro with the P5 and the 2-time truck. I don't think I need to say any more. Now, this one was the 3rd place in TNT points, the bucket list truck, and winner of KTPA, well, not KTPA, TNT Kentucky Invitational last year. Good showing, a farm show again.
Bentley's.
And this, once you get to the bottom half of the list here, it's hard guessing because there's a lot of names off this list that can very well make it. One of them being Mason Theobald was your Bowling Green ring winner off the one hook, and his rookie season had an amazing showing for his first year driving. Would not be surprised if they get in, but this is who we have. And to round out the list, Salt Shaker Express, runner-up in ITPA, Texas Bullseye 4th in Outlaw points, and then obviously the historic panel van of Jeremy Nelson, and the Midnight Gambler.
Now, I'm going to argue with you there. I think we'll see him take the place of one of them on this side of the list. I really do.
I do too. But we've said it once and we'll say it again. It's farm show. You never know.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, let's move on to your list, bud. Your first one.
Yeah, man, mine. So I had Light Pro, and with there already being 15 points champions all across America and only having 12 spots to fill, this was very hard. And I mean, I had to start diving into wins, who they ran against, and everything else. So without further ado, let's go to Light Pros. And right off the bat, you've got Kevin Banyan, Forgiven, your Region 2 East champion with the NTPA. No stranger to Farm Show. Your next one with Alan Cook and Black Thunder. Your Region 3 champ. After that, we've got Weekend Mistress, Kurt Afdal. Back-to-back NFMS winner of the WTPA state points, and he was second Region 3.
Right behind Alan. Them two went back and forth, and Alan was runner up in WTPA. So obviously those two are going to be battling heads for each other.
Yeah, and that's just going to make it all the more interesting on a Saturday afternoon. But after that, we're going out west to Missouri. Luke Ross, Living on a Prayer. He was your Western Series champion this year again. Mike Weekland. It came down to the final hook of the year with him and Mr. Franger on the full pull USA East side, just hooking up. He was your full pull champion. I can't say any of these are a shoe-in though, because of just how the numbers shake out.
No,
so I don't want to throw the word automatic bid out there this year at all.
No, I agree with that, especially like you said, if there's 15 champions trying to fill 12 spots.
Yeah.
Who do you take and who do you leave out? And is there a good reason you leave them out? Is there a good reason you get them in? And that's all the more reason you have to do stuff like this, where you look at what they won, who they competed against to just add on to it, just to see who lashes out and makes their case.
Yeah. Up next, we've got your OSTPA points champion. It was his rookie year in Light Pro, diesel truck puller, now running in the Light Pro ranks. Corey Frank, the high standards, the old nothing special truck, or not the truck, the tractor of the Hawks. And then your Region 4 champion and Interleague winner, Hunter Beasley, with Power Hound, is going to round out this part of the Light Pro list. And then moving on over here, Red Exception, David Reef, Indiana Pulling League, had a really good year over there. I had a chance to see him run in person towards the end of the year in Elizabethtown. He came out and put on a heck of a show. Your Silver Series points champion, Matt Smith, Fast Forward. Your Ontario Truck and Tractor Pullers champion for the 10,000 pound class. I think it was this year. Matt Dirksen, Unchained, finished second in Farm Machinery Show last year. And then one that we were all kind of surprised wasn't in last year, I think it's safe to say, especially based off the showing he had at Shipshewana at the Midwest War Nationals. Jeff Michelocci, Demented. He was your East Coast champion, and then Never Enough, Jordan Stroud, Region 2 West champion. And there is easily 2 or 3 or 4 even that I could mix into here and
I mean, there's another blue one of the
interchange.
Yeah, I mean, Smith's other tractor runs exactly like Fast Forward. I'd throw in the mix Jeremy Plotz with the big one.
Yeah.
Went and won the buckle at Hillsboro. I mean, he wins anywhere he goes. It's so hard to say.
Shane Scott with Black and Blue.
Shane Scott, Fahringer especially, he had a very, very good showing
Well,
all year.
Fahringer. So here was the other consideration I took in is an A pump going to be in this year? And just with the way the points have shaken out and with the 15 true light pro champions this year, I couldn't justify putting him in there over the guys that run the P pumps all year. But man, whenever I saw him in Carolina, it's not going to shock me if he goes. He's been before.
Right. And honestly, you really outdoors, you can and you can't really tell a difference between an A pump. I mean, Fahringer made it look like there was no difference at all.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, he hung right there with Weekland all year long.
And
another one comes to my head. Yeah, Chris Comaroni. That's another one that comes to my mind. He ran literally all over the freaking map this year. So, I mean, I don't know. There's literally 5 names right there that we could alternate in and out of this.
Right.
And who knows? We could be out in complete left field, and I could be 100% wrong. More than likely wrong, but we'll see.
That's why it's just predictions. It's not up to us because we don't know. But we're just taking this is more or less just an educated guess.
Yeah. You ready to switch back 2 years to go in modifieds?
Yeah, we can do that. Obviously, one of the heavy hitter classes at Farm Show that everybody loves. Mods. You can see on the picture right there, Brandon Simon. Obviously, I'm my number 1 putting in there. PPL champ, defending Farm Show champ, won both sessions last year. Ran right with the guy that's right below him, Bill Leishman, the Dirt Slinger, for the NCPA championship. This one is going to be a slugfest.
Yeah.
Because
and there was the modified numbers as a whole were up all the way around this year.
Yeah, I think anyone
watching was absolutely great to see.
I think anyone watching can agree to that. There were some polls. Toma, Bowling Green, Rockwell had great numbers. Any PPL shows had good numbers too. There was 14, 15, 16 modifieds. There was 15 plus at Farley for the beginning of the year.
Yeah. And I mean, I can't think of a time growing up whenever there was truly that many. You were doing good to get a dozen, but for there to have been 16, 18 at some of these events this year, man, it was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll keep rolling on the list. Cotton Candy, in the finals last year, your Outlaw champ again. Nee's family getting that 3-engine setup figured out. They ran very well. He was
second in the finals, wasn't he?
I believe he was. Yes.
Yeah.
I'd have to look back at the results to even know he was. I believe he was. Yeah, he was second, right behind Brandon. So
yeah,
going into the next one, the next 4 really, Giddy Up, Ricky Rose and Jeff Rose. They split seat time around this year. Run a good amount of hooks this year. Always competitive with that 3-engine mod setup. Does very good at Farm Show. Thorne and Ramblin' Rose Owens boys went out to California and just laid it on them. Went 1 and 2 both days there. They didn't get out right away during the season, but when they came in, they ran just like they always have. They ran right at the top. Gave everybody a run for their money. The next one here, the only unlimited that I know of right now that goes down and runs modified for Farm Show, and that's the Theobald of Full Blown Wicked.
Yeah.
It's definitely a change for them going from the screw blowers to the 14s. Got to do a little bit of tuning, but they always put on a good show, and they They buzz him about as hard as anybody out there, especially Brandon and
Yeah,
Bill.
they do. Absolutely do.
The next one here, I would say, is probably one of your comeback drivers of the year, and that's Steve Bunnage, and takes a licking. Comes back and gets, I believe, third in the mod points right out
Yeah.
after most of the year off after the injury, and he gets third right behind Brett Berg and Brandon Simon in PPL points. Always a competitive tractor, runs very consistent. I suspect him to be back in Farm Show after a year off. Next one, 10-time champ, Bill Voorhees, American Thunder. Runner-up right behind RJ Simon in the light modified class in the NTPA. A lot of people can say Farm Show without Bill Voorhees. It's Bill Voorhees, man. You can't take anything from him.
Yeah. I mean, he had a great year in the light mod. I don't want to say I was surprised by it, but I mean, at the same time, that was a new class for him. That means setup goes into account and everything else. That was a great year for him.
Next on the list, another guy that helps build a lot of the components out there, Corporal Punishment, Les Corporal. Runs light mod all year long. Right up there. I don't believe he got any wins, but the thing is very consistent, competitive, and he's done very well with it. And the last two, Brett Berg, Moneymaker. Need I say any more? It's Brett Berg.
PPL Puller of the Year this year.
PPL Pull of the Year, runner-up in PPL points, and dude can flat out drive. And the last one on the list, we got the Money Pit of Bollingers. Ran all year in the modified class, did not run the Unlimited, sprinkled in a couple times with the Top Gun Allison engine tractor being in the modified class with its new setup. But anytime they ran the modified with this 3-engine setup, they always did very well. Great showing at Bowling Green, great showing at Sandwich. And I suspect them to do very, very well Farm Show too.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the one that really went back and forth between, more me advocating for it than you, was the Top Gun.
Yeah, I think for the more or less nostalgic, different engine setup, I could see that, but it just didn't have enough runs on it this year. They didn't get it tuned in quite well.
Where they wanted it. I mean, it made a good pass. Another one that jumping out at me that's not here is Phipps.
No, more or less running a light model year, never really getting the 3-engine setup. I did not suspect them to apply, especially being their first year.
Okay.
That's more or less. And all these guys here went back, except for Cameron Neves, who doesn't run the NTPA or PPL. Everyone on this list has went back and forth to each other all year. So it's just a slugfest one after another.
Yeah. Great list, my friend. And which one? You've got Duel the Fuels left, right?
Duel the Fuels is my last one, and you've got 4 ones as your next one.
Yeah, now you want to talk about having to find 24 of them to throw into this list. It was a challenge. I'll put it that way. I mean, literally searching all over the globe. I think I've got guys from all the way to New York, all the way out into the Outlaw guys. So let's jump right in. As you guys can tell, I kind of started with Region 2 and then kind of made my way around after that. Jerry Martin, John Deere 5020 Region 2 points champ this year. The man who had a really dominating summer, Dean Halicki and Killing Time, Region 3 champ. Your Silver Series points champion, Jared Wortman and Goliath. 99% sure he put in. There's that 1% doubt in me, though, because of some other. He said that thing was for sale, I think. I don't know that for a fact. Adrian Cox, Hickory Hooker, your Western Series champ. Dixie Deer, Mid-South points champion. Family Feud, the Stuckenschneiders. Great people out there with the Excalibur boys. They were the points champion there. George Bear, Side Piece, Outlaw points champ. Rhapsody of the Barkers, ITPA points champion. They last year at Farm Show, they really flexed their muscle, I think. I can't remember if it was preliminary or in the finals where they did it, but they came out and ran strong.
They won a preliminary round after 2 years in a row, surprisingly breaking a throttle cable, coming out and just giving it to him that first Friday session. Yeah, it was definitely a step in the right direction for them, and definitely redemption after the previous 2 years. And obviously ITPA winning ITPA again. It shows the tractor's competitive and can run against the best.
Yeah, exactly. Steve Baalsma, special edition, your Nebraska Bush Pullers, points champion this year. After that, we're going up north. Someone who's been on the show before, Tyler Audette, Purebred Red, your NYTPA points champion. No stranger to the Farm Machinery Show. He's been there the last 3 years, I think. Wyatt.
Yeah. Last one was with the other tractor, Utter Obsession. Purebred Red's been there before as Super Farms too. So, but obviously they both run very well.
So. Now help me say this next one. He was your ECI points champion, Bryce
Rickliffs.
Revolver.
This dude is as rookie can get. I don't believe he's ever pulled a tractor before. As long as I've been around, not knowing it, and he's run here at home with ECI. Come out first year, and to say that this tractor was dominant with ECI was kind of an understatement for how many pulls he won. I mean, there was times he was putting 20, 25 feet on second, third place, and it runs like a house of fire. First hook out, Tim Vorwald took it at Prairie du Sac, Wisconsin for the first Badger State points hook of the year, and top 5 right off the bat with some of the toughest tractors around.
Yeah. So is this a fresh build? Is it?
This was a brand new build.
Okay.
Everything was right out of the box.
Was this the black stripe that you were telling me about?
This is the black stripe 1066.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
50,
now I can put the name. I can put the name of the tractor now.
Mm-hmm.
Doug Ruth and the Ruthless second Excalibur Series points this year. Got a chance to see him run out on the Western Series out there in Paris, along with a couple of the other guys that are on this list: the Stuckenschneiders, the Baalsmas, Cox, Jared Wertman. I got to see him run multiple times. Colby Counts, obviously, been around him a long time. Wyatt, back out there to your area, John Hollywood Coots, Badger State points champion this year. And so this next one, Keith Myers and Weezer, second year Western Series points. Man, he had a great year. Started off the right way out of Missouri and was consistent all year long. He had one little hook where he jumped out of bounds, I think it was, and that kind of hurt him later on, but he had a heck of a year.
That's probably the most interesting looking tractor of all the ones we have on these lists.
Yeah.
Bar none with that wrap chrome look.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be a photo nightmare for some of the photographers down in Louisville, but it's going to be, it'll be cool nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and tell you it's difficult, especially outside at night. But after that, we've got David Novak, second in outlaw points with the Mean Farmer again. Jacob Old just at dirt. He was second Region 2 points. He actually came down to Hoptown and ran this year with the Mid-South boys. And then second Silver Series points, Josh Dutton, time 4, one more. That's another one of your guys up there, Wyatt.
Yep. Dutton ran Silver Series most of the year. It's a little bit of change as he usually ran Badger State for the past couple of years. Competed right with the best there in the Silver Series. Not to be biased by any means, but if he comes from Wisconsin or Minnesota, it's a 4-1. It's probably going to run well. So
yeah. After that, someone who really came on strong towards the end of the year, Chad Russell and Shoot the Thrill. Man, he came on strong, especially the last weekend there in Nashville. He ended up finishing third in the Silver Series points. He ran good at Shides whenever I saw him. It's not going to shock me in the slightest if he's there.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah. And then the next one, Plow Tractor 4.1, Stephen Long. He was second Mid-South points. You want to talk about going back and forth all year long. Him and Counts were swapping wins all year long, swapping the points lead. And then at the end, Counts ended up getting the win. But Steve was right there with the Dixie Deer all year long. He had a great showing at Farm Show last year, and I have no reason to believe that he won't have a great showing again this year.
Yep. Keep on moving.
Yep. G-Force of the Gerlachs. I didn't know who would probably drive at Farm Show this time, so I just put them down as a whole. They were third in Badger State points. Another one, my Mid-South runners, Weekend Warrior at the Calvary Brothers. They were third in Mid-South points this year. And then Wyatt, this was one I kind of bounced off of you just as one name with the slow ride. He was fifth in Badger State, but he came out like a fireball at the beginning of the year.
Adam Stevens has probably had the best season he's ever had with this tractor. It was on fire at the early point in the year. It stayed consistent throughout. The only negative about the tractor is that he has got to compete against some of the toughest ones out there, like Johnny Hollywood, Tony McDonald, Ray Heron, the Gerlachs, Josh Dutton. I mean, you can roll down names, and when you have to run against those guys every weekend, it is so tough to get a win. He was competing right with the best from getting some wins.
Yeah. I actually got the chance to see him run for the first time outdoors this summer. That was really cool to see the black paint outdoors. And then your Saturday night Southern Illinois Shootout winner, Red Power Express, Ray Heron. I don't know if they're going to send in.
Talking to Ray last time, he was going to send in. So Red Express, Ray Heron, if anybody knows, used to be a Super Farm / Pro Stock as a 1066 back in the day. Come back out probably 6 or 7 years ago with this new Puma style hood. This tractor has had probably 5 different drivers this year. Josh Blackburn being one, Alex Hazard, Jordan Heron, Ray Heron. And this thing wins. It doesn't matter who's on the dang thing. It won down there Saturday night in Nashville. He went out to Henry, Illinois for the Silver Series hook, won there. He went out to Fort Recovery, swept the weekend there. Competes every weekend that he goes when he runs Badger State.
You never know where he's going to be.
No, you never know where he's going to be. Ray's done this a long time. You never know where he's going to show up, and every time he shows up, everyone's like, well, got to try and get around Ray tonight.
So let me ask you this. Does him not running the One True Points Association, do you think it hurts his chances whenever the committee goes to look at it? Or do you think having the wins all over the place is going to help more?
I think when you have wins in 4 different associations or 4 different point series, it kind of helps you.
Yeah.
Because you're running against 4 different types of tractors that all compete very well, and you beat them all. I think that's kind of a good case, especially when you go out to Fort Recovery and just sweep that place, because that place is historic.
Yeah, and Brent Yarn chimed in and said he won at Rockwell too.
That's true. He did win at Rockwell. I did forget about that. Why did I forget that?
Wow, that's going to be that's an interesting one there. I'll be curious to know what they do there. Tony McDonald, he finished up second in the Badger State points, the well spent tractor.
Mm-hmm.
We have not been able to get confirmation for sure from any. We haven't really gotten confirmation from anybody. There's been a select few that we text like, hey, just to make sure. Like we were 99% sure, but that was one I kind of wanted to get confirmation on that we never did.
Right. Tony's been to the farm show in the past.
He likes that place.
That tractor is just a really good running tractor. I mean, second in Badger State points. It's gonna run with everybody. It's gonna compete very well. So Tony's no slouch, and he knows a lot.
Yeah.
So
now I'll tell you straight up one off my head that I left off this list, and it's purely because at the beginning of the year they didn't have the tractor done yet. It's the Debisseries with the Hellraiser International Addiction Edition.
Mm-hmm.
That's one I could see interchanging in here somewhere with someone. I don't know who, but that's one name that I really looked at hard. If he hadn't missed Paris and Fayette, Missouri, I think there's a good chance we're talking about him being Silver Series champ the way it ran whenever they got it out. They won Friday. I think they won Friday night of the Southern Illinois Invitational. Or not Invitational, just the Southern Illinois Shootout. But I don't know.
Right. Yeah, he missed 3 hooks all year on the Silver Series and still ended up 4th in the points. So
yeah. I don't know. I really don't.
It's hard to say. I mean,
It wouldn't shock me. They're signed up for Cloverdale Midwest Winter Nationals. So
right.
We'll see.
No, I that one would not surprise me, really. I mean, it's got a really good heart in it, and we all know where that heart came from. And it runs like a house of fire.
Yes, it does. All right, Bubba. Your main event, Duel the Fuels. Go for it.
Obviously, Duel of Fuels is probably the most excited. Looked forward to class, probably besides the modifieds or pro stocks at Farm Show. It's definitely full of heavy hitters, and I don't think any of these names will surprise anybody by any means, especially with the accolades that they have. So let's roll with it. Split by alcohol and diesel. 6 and 6. We'll start with the alcohol side. Fully loaded Jeff Hodem. I think he's got an automatic bid winning the 2024 PPL Points Championship. Coming and winning how many hooks in a row with Rockwell and Mount Sterling weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And finishing out the year at Dragway 42 on a high note. Absolutely has a case. Extremely Armed and Dangerous and HD. Armed and Dangerous was your NTPA champ by winning at the very last hook at Bowling Green. It's Terry Blackburn. I mean, you can't have a superstock class without Terry Blackburn. Dude's he's a historic name in that class, and him not being a Louisville would kind of be wrong. So, and then the other tractor, obviously HD, driven by Cody. The kid's getting so much better driving that thing. It was running well all year. Had a couple hiccups here and there with a couple broken parts, but other than that, he was absolutely in contention for a points championship. And that thing runs right at the top all the time. Finalist last year in the top 3, and I expect it to be there. Along with the last 3 here, Running Bear Jeff Hurd, the runner-up in PPL points, lost at the very last hook of the year, like I stated at Dragway 42. Mr. Excitement itself, the thing has got to be the loudest pop in the world when it pops inside Louisville, so it's a little bit of a scare factor.
Whatever we're down there on the finish line in, especially.
Yep. So I suspect Mr. Excitement to be there. Galot, John Strickland. There was some wins this year, especially in Toma, Wisconsin, when he just laid it on them. A couple times this year, had a couple hiccups, but other than that, the Galot tractor is competitive all the time. It runs at the top everywhere it goes, and it's a little bit of color change being its an orange tractor. So add a little bit of color to it. And then finally, was in Louisville last year. It's again your family with lessons learned. It's very consistent when it's running. It can have some hiccups, but it's hard. It's hard to say who's going to fill the last spots on either side of these, because other than the top, say 4 or 5 that are on this list, you don't really know who's a 7th or 8th tractor in each fuel that applies.
Yeah, you're right.
One of them we knew was the Babel family with Under the Influence from California. They applied. Yeah. You could have thrown in there the Kubota tractor of Maury Harrell, reskinned Pure Country, being as it's a V8 Perkins alcohol tractor, adds a little bit of flavor to it. So it's definitely a mix and match. Look at who they run against and see how they do.
Yeah.
Now it's time to move to the diesel side. And a little bit of shakeup this year. Some obviously a name that we haven't seen at Farm Show for a couple of years. But we're going to start with obviously the most dominant man probably in pulling all year long, at Colin Ross and triple bypass. NTBA diesel superstock champion, defending Farm Show champion, and probably one of the most dominant diesel supers I've ever witnessed in my lifetime. Colin's going to come with guns blazing, ready to lock and load and shoot out. So, second is going to be a curious one. Travis Schwab on the Bone Twister. Everybody has seen the explosion that happened with the intake manifold at Sandwich. Curious to see if he's going to get it back together, especially with having to do some hoodwork repairs. I'm hoping he gets it back together. That's why I suspect him to be there, especially being top 3 NTPA points.
Yeah, Travis, if you're watching, do you have an update for us? I know he typically watches our Farm Show shows.
Yeah, anybody that's watching, just comment what you think. so far and sharing
Yeah.
around.
Tell us if we're wrong. Tell us why we're wrong, please.
Could definitely be wrong.
Makes it a lot of fun for us that way.
Yeah. Yep. Next one, Super Rooster, Kent Payne. 2023 Grand National Diesel Superstock champion. Had a mishap last year at Farm Show, unfortunately, but ran well again this year in the point series. Never really had a hiccup. Had a couple different had Josh Blackburn drive it in Toma and did well for his first time there. And Kent Payne is always a good engine builder and runs very well. Next one, I've got your brother.
Yeah.
I think you can attest to this. It's the most this tractor's been out in a couple of years, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and I mean, I was glad farming just allowed him to be able to be gone this time and go more. And I mean, when he went, and he made sure everybody knew he was there on business. Wish we could have ended the year a little better. And I think if you ask him that, he'd say the same thing with Sandwich. But whenever we were out there in Bowling Green, he was a force to be reckoned with, man. And he went to the Fort. He went to Chapel Hill. We had the exciting hood fly. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got there Enderley Berth and won at Fort Recovery. He was real close to Bowling Green because he had to back out because of the equipment being there at the end of those.
Oh, don't. I feel bad for the guy on that one. I don't know if he's heard the end of that one yet. Poor fella.
The next one is going to be the one we haven't seen in a couple of years, the Blagray family and the Red Horse. And it was great to see them out a little more this year in the past couple of years.
Yeah, it was.
Obviously, the crops and farming down in West Texas are a little bit harder to come by. It limits them traveling as much. And obviously, they live in West Texas. They're almost by New Mexico. It's hard to go anywhere. So they have applied. I did talk to Steve. They did apply. So that's why I put them in there. And last one, just to fill out these Diesel Supers, Steve Burge and Lock and Load, Grand National competitor. Hopefully he can get a monkey off his back and do very well at Farm Show. But that's who I've got in for Duel of the Fuels.
Yeah. And by the way, I just want to give a shout out to everyone that is that's watching our show. I'm getting the notifications for all the shares that are going into all the groups and all of the individuals that are sharing the video. That helps us out a lot more than you guys know. And commenting and liking it helps us out a lot. So thank you guys so much for doing that so far.
Now it's time for the final class that we have available for us tonight.
Yeah, and like I said, guys, we're going to have four-wheel drives and super farms and the diesel 4x4s. We will probably, whenever we get a hold of them, like I said, Charles had something come up to where he couldn't be here. It was very last minute, so whenever we get them, we will definitely come back on and put them out there and share them on the same spotlight that these other classes have been put in. So without further ado, let's go light super pulling. And up number one, Extremely Insane, Larry Phillips, 6th in the NTPA points. And then we have Brandon there with Loud and Light finishing 5th. They both had a really strong year. Brandon, especially with the John Deere, he came on stronger towards the end of the year. So he got that setup figured out after the work they had done to it. And I think he'll be a force to be reckoned with there. And then you've got Considered Armed and Dangerous, Terry Blackburn. Now, I don't know if he drives the heavy, will he be able to drive the light, or are they going to have to call on somebody else to drive that one?
I wouldn't suspect it would affect it any.
I didn't know if they were going to make them alternate drivers.
No, I wouldn't suspect it would affect him any, being that RJ Simon's driven a tool drive and a pro stock in the same Farm Show. So I wouldn't suspect it to be a problem.
Okay. Fair point then. Green Lightning, Frank Bahaboy, the Outlaw Points champion. Detonator Black, Adam Spiegelberg, 4th in NTPA points. Evening Thunder, Kevin Esri, your Mid-South Points champion. Brian Schrammick in red for your NTPA points. I know the 10th position NTPA points is a little low, but I think that the tractor as a whole ran really well this year.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be key to note that there's some guys that do not apply to Louisville just because when running a super in Louisville is fairly difficult. I know the Whitworths are not applying.
Yeah,
so
that's
you will
just
not
what I was
see
going to bring up. Yeah.
you won't see the NTPA champ or third place points tractors. So that automatically moves any guys like Terry Blackburn up to the top position to take that spot. Or any guys like Adam Spiegelberg goes fourth. Now he's number 2 since Whitworth tractors are out. So if you know that ahead of time, you can account for that. So that's why some of these names can be confusing or maybe questioning, but if you know that information beforehand, it's easier to tell.
And I mean, they say that pretty early too. I think it was I don't know if they did like as soon as they won the championship there in Ohio, or if it was an interview they did it that I heard it through. But they pretty well said from the beginning, like, yeah, no, we're not going to go farm show this time.
Right. Yep. Yes, and obviously tuning alcohol in a place where one end of the building is warmer than the other, and barometric pressures, it can be very difficult.
Yes, it can. Daniel Northcutt, 5th in Pro Pulling League points with the On the Edge tractor. Gunpowder and Lead, Marcus Weddleton, 7th in NTPA points. Again, with the other two not applying, I think that kind of opens up the door for Marcus a little bit. Marcus didn't have the year that he wanted. You and I both know that.
I experienced it a little bit.
Yeah.
Being with them sometimes. Yeah, it's supers, multiple turbos. There's a lot of variables when it comes to these.
Yeah. Bobby Jones, field sobriety, 4th in Pro Pulling League points. He ran strong all year. Just the Haugs are another group that are not on this list. I don't think they applied for farm show.
Right, correct.
But he finished 4th right behind them, and your Pro Pulling League champion over the edge of Martin Daniel down there. And then the Kesslers with the night shift. It wouldn't surprise me one bit to see them back in.
Right. Obviously, being ITPA points champs kind of it boosts them up a little bit. Being a farm show in the past helps a lot too. The tractor's competitive. They're all hard runners. It's just a matter of fact that can you get the farm show air to comply with your setup.
Yeah, I mean that by itself is definitely a chore. You just us sitting there watching over the years and everything else. I would never want to do it. I couldn't do it. There's a reason why I'm a diesel boy at heart. So
now the only name that I could think of that I would add in this list would probably be Brian Bowles. The only reason I'd say that is he did not run a points series, but anywhere he went, Bowling Green or any PPL hooks who ran a Rockwell too. I mean, the thing, if you ever listen to it, it runs like it wants to blow up, but it's running like a banshee.
That's a fair point. I'll be honest, with him not running a point series, it kind of didn't cross my mind. I'll be 100% honest, and that's my fault. I could find a spot for him in this list. I think you're right.
But like I said before, it's a lot to take into consideration. I mean, I could show you the map I have. There's hundreds of events you have to look at, results pages to even figure out who you should put in or who you think applied.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, y'all. But these are purely just our predictions and numbers and what we could find. Like I said, we're trying to do better than what we did last year. Even though last year we came out swinging at 72% of the competitors. That's how many we got right last year. But man, it took a lot of time, and this was really difficult. So you want to run through the names one more time? Just run through them for who's in what class for the people that are listening on audio.
Good. Anybody that's watching, if you have a comment on who you think should be in that we did not say, throw it in there because I'd be curious to see who you believe should be in.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is a case for everybody. One way or another.
I don't care if they ran 2 times. I don't care if they ran 60 times. Throw them in here and let's look at them and make your case for them. It makes it a lot more fun for us to interact with you guys too. So light pros again, Kevin Banyan for Given, Alan Cook, Black Thunder, Kurt Afdahl, Weekend Mistress, Luke Ross, Living on a Prayer, Mike Weekland, Just Hooking Up, Corey Frank, OSCPA Points Champ, Hunter Beasley, Power Hound, Red Exception, David Reef, Matt Smith, Fast Forward.
Esden, yes, Smiths are in the list, as you can see right there. With one of them, like we stated before, there's 15 points champions trying to fill out 12 spots. So
yeah, I mean that's one of the ones I tried to make a case for. I mean, I'll be honest, I was a little bit trying to be like, okay, where can I put them? Shane Scott, I think, finished third in Silver Series points in particular. That's one that I just really I tried to find a spot for him and I couldn't. You know what I mean?
And it's another thing. It's hard to make a case, especially with only 12 vehicles, or in the diesel trucks, 10 vehicles, when you have multiple vehicles on your team with that many limited spots to take. It's hard to make a case. It's hard to make a case for them to have their other tractor in there over someone else who is also a points champion.
Yeah, Essen said didn't know there was another screen. Oh yeah, we didn't leave out the Silver Series champ. Ontario Truck and Tractor Pull champ Matt Dirksen with Unchained, Jeff Michelocci and Demented, Jordan Stroud and Never Enough. That rounds out your light pros, your 4.1 limited pros. Jerry Martin, John Deere 5020, Killing Time, Dean Halicki, Jared Wortman, Goliath, Hickory Hooker, Adrian Cox, Dixie Deere, Colby Counts, Stuck in Schneiders with Family Feud, George Bear, Side Piece, The Barkers with Rhapsody, Special Edition Steve Balsma, Tyler Audette, Purebred Red, Red Revolver, Bryce Recklifts, Doug Ruth, Ruthless Bonder, Digging Deer, John Hollywood Coots, Keith Myers, Weezer, The Mean Farmer, David Novak, Just Add Dirt, Jacob Bowl, Tom Ford, One More, The Duttons, Shoot the Thrill, Chad Russell, Plow Tractor 4.1, Stephen Long, G-Force, third in Badger State points, the Gerlachs, Weekend Warrior with the Calvary Brothers, Slow Ride, Adam Stevens, Red Power Express, Ray Heron, and Will Spin of Tony McDonald. And then Light Supers, Extremely Insane, Loud and Light, Considered Armed and Dangerous, Green Lightning, Frank Baja Boy, Detonator Black, Evening Thunder, Red, On the Edge, Gunpowder and Lead, Field Sobriety, Night Shift, and Over the Edge.
I'm going to be curious to see when it comes to the next couple weeks. Hopefully there's no delay when it comes to getting the letters out. I think everyone last year was I think everybody was a little bit of a panic last year. They want to see the list. Everybody wants to know who's in. And yeah, it's definitely exciting. So going down mine, Chase Richardson, Suffolk Sanity, Sweet Revenge of Bethany Nelson, Jason Sullivan, Cornburner, Donnie Sullivan with the big stick, Midnight Revenger, Jared Nelson, Buffalo's Chips of the Morris family, Teasley's with Apex, Mid-South Champs, Pain in the Cash from OSTPA, Wild and Blue, Brandon Lee, Midnight Obsession from the KTPA, Monkey Business, TNT, Hunt family with the Taz truck, Jesse Peacher on Buckeye Hauler, Mayhills and Chainman with Old Blue, Corzines with Rekindled, the Nelsons from Texas with Whip It, Little Whip, Keeners, Sauced Up, Sprock Farms, the Sprock family, Tim Messer with Invisalign, Stevens with Bucket List, Jamie Austin, Salt Shaker Express, Dustin Corliss with Texas Bullseye, and Jeremy Nelson with Midnight Gambler.
Yeah,
obviously,
we had a couple of comments come in too.
Mm-hmm.
Finish up yours. I want to get to those.
Yep. Modifieds, Brandon Simon, Simon Says, Bill Weichner, Dirt Slinger, Cameron Neves, Cotton Candy, the Rose family with Giddy Up, Owens family with Thorn, Ramblin' Rose, Theobald's with Full Blown Wicked, Steve Bondage Takes a Lickin', Bill Voorhees, American Thunder, Les Corporal Punishment, Brett Berg Moneymaker, and Bollinger's Money Pit. And finally, the Duel of Fuels, Jeff Hold'em with Fully Loaded, Blackburn, Extreme Army Dangerous Injury, Cody Cheezick on HD, Running Bear with Jeff Hurt, Galat with John Strickland, Lessons Learned with Get Into Your Family. On the diesel side, Triple Bypass, Colin Ross, Bone Twister, Travis Slawbaugh, Super Rooster, Kent Payne, Living a Dream, your brother Brandon Hunt, Red Horse, Steve Blagrave, or Stan Blagrave, and then Lock and Load of Steve Burge. So these are just 6 of the 9 classes we have predicted. We will get the last 3 to you one way or another, whether we just post them on Facebook or if we do some sort of segment. So
I kind of prefer the segment. I'm not going to lie about it.
right. So yeah, tell us how we're wrong.
Comment time. Chris Baker, did I miss the light pros yet? Yep, we just ran through them. Bomber says light super cycle letter buck.
I absolutely I could see. I honestly could see a case where you could throw Rex Kuhn in there. My question would be, when was the last time that Rex Kuhn actually ran Farm Show? And also him being 9th place in NTPA points.
You can't make that argument. You can't make that argument. I got Schrammick in there at 10th for NTPA points.
Right. It's hard to say.
Yeah. Chris Baker should be ×3. Huh. I'm assuming he means Smiths with light pros.
Possibly.
Yeah. Ethan Fitzsimmons, I think the farm show should add a mini rod class or a super semi class. Mini rods, I'd be all for. Semis,
There's a good thing. There's something called the truck show.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
I think that has a little bit of weight.
Yeah. Wish Meese would do it with the squealer and the dual. Yeah.
Well, he absolutely, I mean, if they apply, they absolutely have a case. I mean, I don't see why not.
Sure.
My question is, when was the last time they applied or went? Because I haven't seen the results in the past years to show they actually went, unless you go back to 2012 or 13.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Okay, Geezy, Lindstrom down your picks for Limited Pro. I feel dumb if he won a points championship and I left him off.
I mean, he does have a case.
I know he does. And that was one of the names I really thought I put in, but apparently I didn't. I'm going to look now. You guys are Region 3, right?
Region 3 and WTPA. Yes, Lindstrom absolutely has a case. I think with Tori having Matt drive his tractor also, and Tori driving his new tractor, Hooter from Hammer, too. Being ahead of Kevin kind of weighs a little bit. Dean, obviously.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Hey, Geezy, if you have a list of the applicants, it'd be sure appreciated.
I mean, you and I both know he put in.
Correct.
I don't know. I could very easily find him a spot. He's last year's winner on top of that. Yeah, I'll take that one. That's a mess up on my part. Well, Wyatt, we're not going to go perfect in 4-1. I'm going to tell you that now. How did I miss him, of all people?
We're also going through hundreds of pages of results to do this.
This is fair. Yeah, last year's winner. Yeah, Geezy, you're 100% right. I feel dumb for that. I really do. I honestly think the reason why I said no is because he was third in points and there's 24 spots. I really think that was a reason why I didn't at first. But now if I had to go back and do it again, I would. I could put him in there. Do you know for sure if Red Revolver put in, Wyatt?
I was not at the ECI banquet, so I did not have the chance to ask either Tim or Bryce that question. My assumption would be yes, based upon the fact that Rowan will more than likely be at Louisville with 3 pro stocks. So more than likely, if they go there, Bryce is absolutely going to apply, being that Tim's going to be down there as well, and Andrew. So I'd say there's a very more highly likely chance that he did.
Yeah. Chris said, how could you ever count Kevin out? I don't know. That was my fault. That is 100% on me. Looking through all these names, that was just the one. Because, I mean, I mainly stayed within the one or two of the points associations, it felt like.
This is gonna be a hard year. I'm gonna be blunt. I honestly think it's gonna be harder than last year.
Yeah. But
Especially
then what if there's the possibility that he didn't apply? What if he just allowed in?
What was the pro stock? Ethan asked, what was the pro stock that used to come out of the Netherlands for the farm show?
Oh, the old Turn Me Loose boys.
Turn Me Loose, Lucian Coolers.
Yeah, and then there were some other guys that were here too. There was the
Extreme Temptation, wasn't it? The white 305.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
They have actually a higher case to run light pro over here than they do pro stock based upon the cubic inch limits and turbo sizes.
Especially now with the components being allowed.
Yeah. Well, they're bigger engines in Europe anyways when it comes to pro stocks than light pros here. But
yeah. I feel like I need to redo my list now for 4 ones I'll lift him out. I feel extremely dumb.
Yeah, Ethan, there's been quite a few European pullers come over here. Den Erfruder, a Dutch 1066 came over. Heck, there's been multiple here before.
Yeah, there's been. I mean, Zangstra's been over here.
Zangstra's been over here before.
He brought another one with him, the DN Arventure tractor.
Yeah, the Den Erfruder. Is Turn Me Loose still pulling? That'd be a question for Lucian. I don't believe it is. I believe
if it is, the chassis is not. It's not pulling as a pro.
Right. Lucian's had a lot of stake in some pro stocks over here, help building with Weilmann's, or at least a hand in it. So, like I said, that'd be a question for Lucian, especially if he's going to be a Louisville. I think he'd answer you there.
Yeah.
Wasn't there 2 supers? Yes, 3 actually. Zeinstra Newborn Deer, Zeinstra Green Gangster Deer, and Den Erfruder, the 1066.
Has Green Gangster made it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. There's been talks of having others come over.
Yeah, and I mean, I
also,
hope we get back to that at some point.
I think there's a good chance there is. Some friends from the Netherlands that I have definitely spoke about it, especially with having, Mary Kell family go over with the mini rod, Hans Boxler go over with the diesel super.
Yeah, I think we're heading back towards that direction.
Mm-hmm. And I also think with Europe having increased interest with the diesel super class, that there could be possibility that they bring them over here. So,
yeah,
all in time.
Yeah, all in time indeed. Wow. So let me ask you this: we haven't talked about this before. Now, if you had to go back in and redo any of your lists, which one would you want to redo?
Harry Bledsoe wins Super Farm Class again.
Kudos to you, Curtis, for that one.
If I had to, modified.
Really?
Because the Benedict was the big one.
Mm-hmm.
Making sense first year out, finishing 3rd in Grand National points. Very, very good case for them. Ran well all year long.
Yeah.
That'd be, you never know if Walsh's may have applied with Irish Challenger.
I bet not, because you remember last year that they were on our list and we ended up getting told that they didn't.
Right. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, Geezy, here is my one counterpoint to that. The year that Ratterman's won it, they applied the next year and they did not get back in either.
Yep. Same class, same scenario. So
Now, do I still feel dumb for not putting him on there? Yeah, but is there that element to it that, yeah,
we put, but they wrecked their engine. Well,
they still reapplied.
They all still reapplied and they still didn't get in for winning it.
Yeah,
So it's
that's my one counterpoint, my one defense. Other than that, no, I'm a complete idiot.
They didn't run a full season. There's a lot of people that don't run full season to get in.
Yeah. Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, if I had to pick one right now, it'd be 4-1s. And that was the one I was most confident in coming in until I realized I left that name off.
Yeah. 4-1s, always hard. 2-0 drives. I think you're right. James.
I think you're 100% right, but just as a counter defense, just for fun, why not?
I think going back to, I think light pros, one of the most exciting class. It's become one of the most competitive and exciting classes of farm show, just because some guys don't get to run against each other a lot, and you really get to see. Besides Midwest Internationals, where they all come, also, it's another place where you really get to throw down and see who's who.
Yeah. So for my people that are watching, and we've already had a little bit of participation in this, what is either another flight or what is another class you would like to see added to Farm Show?
Dylan, to address your comment, have you done forward drive yet? We stated earlier in the show, Charles had something come up, and Charles was in charge of forward drives, diesel forward drives, and super farms. Now, he had something come up where he is not available tonight, and we do not have access to that presentation to show you that those 3 classes. Once we get access through Charles, we will either show them on Facebook or we'll go live and we'll show those 3 classes separately. They are done. We just have to get them.
Yeah, they're done. Yeah. Yeah, a second flight of light pros, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of on everybody's list as a second flight of those. I really do.
I
don't get tired of seeing 24 of them, 30 of them, 40 of them, however many we get at Cloverdale. Russell, he says minis.
Okay.
I don't know what night you put them on.
All right. If you add minis, what do you take out?
Ooh. Matt Dirksen says 2 flights of light pro. And good to know the boys from Canada are watching.
I think
Ethan, I'm gonna say this once and say it one time only. We're not doing those. I don't want to be here till midnight.
I think naming 48 pro stocks will take you all night.
Yeah.
Especially when you have new ones coming out, guys coming back like Bill Miller.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of names. I mean,
yeah, we'd be here for 2 hours on that class by itself.
So I got a question to counter all those answers. Mini rods or light pros, or add a second one of 4-1s. What do you cut out?
I'll put in the counter, and I've brought this argument up to you. 5-0 pros on Saturday afternoon. You take out the pro stock class, have everything that runs on Saturday afternoon, have that be their finals.
Eliminate Wednesday Grand National Pros and make it 5-0 or light pro.
Now, Bartling, I like where your head's at, sir. I do like that. Curtis Rexing Hot Farm would be competitive. Okay, look. You couldn't just do one flight of those. I think that's the biggest problem with that class. You would have to do at least 2. Because, I mean, there's already 60 signed up for Cloverdale. I think there's 60.
I think there's 61.
Yeah.
Eliminate. So, as it says, eliminate Wednesday Grand National Pros and make it 5-0 or light pro.
Hey, man, 5-0s put on a heck of a show. Okay.
Yeah.
They're not all built yet, but whenever they all do get built, it's going to be fun.
Correct. But the only target.
You and I tangle almost every week about that.
The only counter argument I have to that is what you stated before when you made your list. There's 15 champions trying to vie for 12 spots.
Yeah.
So a second flight would eliminate that problem.
3.0 diesel trucks. Oh, I mean, that'd be good for the Kentucky route as main 3.0s, and it's really and truly how big that class has gotten on a national scale. Wouldn't you say?
I think the only concern there would be, I think it's the same thing that Clint has. How many are actually going to sign up? Because it sucks, but there's been that problem in the past where you don't get enough trucks in the indoor setting and you got to cut the class.
Well, I'm looking at
would farm
3.0s
show
right
negate that?
now. I'm looking at 3.0s right now for Midwest Winter Nationals, and we got 21.
Yeah. Would farm show negate that because it's farm show? Possibly, but now Chris says not 3.0, maybe 3.6. They need to have cut tires. I think that argument gets negated just because 3.6 can apply in super stock.
Yeah, pretty much. Just limited 510 hot farms. Midwest Winter Nationals have all sorts of hot farms from 466 to 540. What in the world? What hot farms in there? That's a 540. Yeah, I need more info on that one.
I think if I had to make a final decision on that, if it was my opinion on what should be added, I think just add the second Flight of Light Pros.
But what night do you put it on?
Thursday.
But that loses us a Flight of Super Farm?
No, I think you take out Pro Stocks in a sense. It's just hypothetical. I think you just take out Pro Stocks in a sense where Pro Stocks Wednesday night, I think that's considered the Tinker Toy night.
Yeah.
For good reason.
Yeah.
And then Friday night, it's Dual the Fuels Pro Stock. I think that's where that goes.
Yeah.
And then Saturday afternoon is just a mix of everything.
I'm still in favor, and here's why I say this, especially for those guys that run Pro Stocks on Saturday afternoon or any of those classes that move to the finals on Saturday afternoon. They just have such a short turnaround time before they have to go back out and pull again. They don't have a lot of time to fix things. I mean, I don't want to say it's not fair, but at the same time, like the other guys that have had a whole day to get stuff fixed. I love Pro Stocks, but there doesn't need to be a session of them every night. Mods don't need to hook twice, neither does Super Stocks.
And I can honestly see that argument too.
Mods, yes, the Super Stocks. That might be my own bias playing into that.
And well, how much does it hurt? How much does it hurt Supers with having that pipe on there?
Yeah, that's what I was sitting here thinking before I said. I'm like, oh, wait a minute here. Might be right. I don't know. So I mean, what does that make Saturday night then? If you do that?
Well, I think that's just your championship night. You run then. I never really understood how brand new Pro Stocks can get into Farm Show when it's supposed to be a pull where you build up a resume through a season to hope you get accepted to pull. I think the only thing you can say there, it stems from the 4 sessions that they have. They're 48 spots, and some guys don't apply. I mean, taking into consideration Jeremy Smith, one of the toughest Pro Stocks out there, runs Ohio State, doesn't run indoors.
I don't really know of many of the OSTPA boys that apply as a whole.
Right.
I mean, that's a whole group. I mean, I talked to the Moors the other day. He told me they didn't apply.
Right. So
there's more that don't apply than what you realize, and you just never really think about it because of the names that are on there.
Right. And everybody has a reason they do or don't apply.
Yeah.
Like there's
Saturday night add in light profiles. Yeah, I agree.
And I think
that requires us to add them in somewhere else during the week.
Right. And I think that kind of stems to why don't some guys apply for super stock class? Why doesn't apply anymore? I mean, we've had that question before.
We've had that debate.
Did Buckman apply with the Diesel Super Outlaw champ? I was told no.
He did not. He didn't.
And that's the point I was trying to make.
Brad Campbell, though, I mean, he's next in that slot. I mean, he ran really good this year.
He did.
So I mean, it wouldn't shock me if he's in there.
Right. And I think some guys just want to take some time off from farm show because it's hard on stuff.
I mean, it takes a lot of work to go. I mean, there's also that.
Mm-hmm. Trying to start a multi-charger super indoors with a pipe on, it's gonna be difficult.
Was the one trend we have learned with ours if we're indoors?
If it backfires.
If it backfires, you better watch out later.
Will Schultz get in with the outlaw spot? I
don't know.
I don't know if he applied.
I don't know if he did or didn't either.
Because I think it's the same argument as Scrappy because Doug doesn't apply.
Yeah.
And I think it's more or less for Doug's flow of the engine itself.
Yeah.
Can
I mean, he straight up told us both in separate conversations that's why he doesn't apply.
Right. Degenhart's. There's another one. Belfants. Both of them.
Can confirm that Schultz did not apply.
Okay. John Raymond. There's tons out there that you can make a case for that don't apply. Yeah. And that's why why is it the same old guys? Because it's the only guys that apply. And does it kind of sucks? Yeah. Does it kind of suck? Yeah. Because we want to see some different variety. But
yeah,
you can't change what is, which kind of sucks. But
yeah,
that's just how I see it. I don't know how you see it or when anybody else sees it. That's just
okay.
That's why it's a good discussion.
Yeah, so the only problem with putting the super semis in there, and I think it's been obvious kind of with the truck show even, because the way they set up the truck show, they're able to back into the sled a little bit easier. With the setup that Farm Machinery Show has, it'd be a lot harder for that to happen.
Right. And yeah, the truck show, they have to eliminate the bottom sections of the bleachers to actually accommodate for the semis and mini rods and pro stocks and stuff. So they actually do that.
Yeah.
That'd be the only difficulty, I'd think.
Other than that, I'd be all for it. But just seeing what it takes to go into it now. Oldens have never gone, to my knowledge. When have they applied?
They've gone indoor polling. I don't believe it. I think he's right. I don't think they've gone farm show. They've ran Keystone, that's for sure.
Ooh, another one I didn't think of, Mysics.
Right, yeah. Lance Mysick runs very well in the New
York. He had a heck of a year.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'm not going to go through here and pick one to take out of your list to put them in, but I don't know. I'll tell you the one thing that makes me wonder too, with lessons learned down here is, are they going to I don't want to say scramble to fix it, but are they going to rush job it to be able to fix it because of what they had happen towards the end of the year?
Right, and
that's what I'd be curious to know.
Yeah, and that's like I said before with Dylan Babel, and Dylan's probably still watching. Those guys got back out with that tractor and it's been running very well. So does the committee say, all right, these guys had problems, they probably don't want to rush it, do you bring in Dylan and his dad?
Oh, they're watching too, Mike 6. We didn't apply. That kind of surprises me, though. I'm not gonna lie about it, guys. The summer you guys had, I really figured you guys would be up in there.
Right. What about Bradish with M80? I've had conversations on the phone with Aaron, and he says no. They did not. They had a lot of pump trouble and injector trouble this year, and they want to get that setup figured out before they really go after something.
Yeah,
that's coming from Aaron himself.
Yeah, you guys keep these coming in too. This is a lot of fun. I enjoy doing stuff like this for sure.
And this is what we build our show off of. We build it off of discussion. What do we think? What do the people think? What should happen? Where this should go?
Yeah, and this is what makes it fun for us, man. I mean, are we young? Yeah, but I mean, nothing wrong with having discussions. By the way, Wyatt, did you see Midwest Power Nationals Light Limiteds today?
I did not.
They've got 27 for 6250. So we only need 3 more before we split them into the 2 flights for the 6250.
Don't start that Louisville argument, please. Do not.
Oh, but I want to. It's so fun.
Don't start the light limited in Louisville. Oh my lord.
Boy. Do you know how many people would apply for that though? Whoa, time out here.
Curtis, I'm gonna need a little more context of that. What
yes,
do you mean?
Please. We have not heard that based off the way it was running this year. I wouldn't have.
So
yes, no.
Any of our audio listeners, Curtis commented, Travis Kuhn selling pro stock ? I have not heard anything about this at all.
No, based off the way he was running, we sure as heck wouldn't have thought so. But maybe that's why he is, because of how well it ran. He'll just build back another one, maybe.
Go to Esden's comment.
No. Hang on. We got to go in order first. Devin, yes, you did hear light limited supers at Louisville. Hey,
just battle it out at Midwest Winter Nationals.
Devin, there's still room to sign up for Cloverdale, though. I need to see the tractor there. Starting a petition to get Kenny Hale to put the pipe on for light supers. I agree, man.
Well, here's the thing.
I agree.
Here's the thing. They don't attach the pipe for light supers. So the smoke tube is not on for the light super class.
Yeah, I know, but still, the way that thing runs on Mid-South outdoors during the summer, them and Ulmer's.
Oh, I'd be 100% for.
I'm all for it. Let's see what they can do. If they want to do it, let them do it. Let's go.
Because that tractor is gorgeous.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you could lay eyes on that one at Brandenburg a couple of years ago.
And TPC.
Yep. Hot Farms would be awesome, but couldn't pick just 12. Yeah, Darren, that's what we said earlier.
And that's the argument that people made, that you need to add 2 flights automatically just because there's so many of them.
Yeah. He said, yeah, we need to change that rule.
Well, here's the thing, though. What other diesel light supers are out there?
Ulmer's? Or is that one's ag chassis?
Well, yeah, they're all ag chassis out there, but
yeah. Devin said, doing the best I can, not my decision. I still have to live with my parents, so I'm done with college. I know it, buddy. I know.
Dylan, I'd enjoy sitting in on how they would decide what rules they would use for a light limit super and farm show. You would be there for a weekend.
That'd be fun to listen to, though. Although you've pretty well already got a set of rules that works. Indoors, especially.
Chris Baker, one in Empire State. That's a light super stock on diesel. I'm blanking. Which one is that, Chris? Can you name that one?
Yeah, no, this is just my like of seeing stuff from up north on YouTube, to be honest.
Esden says Bernie Platts. Diesel light, cast ass. Yeah, I mean, it's another one.
Yeah. Okay, here's more to the Trailblazer. I was told by a man who was interested in Trailblazer that he went to Nashville and talked to Travis, who said it would maybe be for sale. Didn't know if you had heard any buzz about it. No, we haven't. That might incline me to do a little bit of digging sometime.
I feel like I'm going to get a text from a certain person here in about 2 seconds.
Yarn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is definitely the fun part of the season.
Oh, yeah. Whenever we had. Yes. Yeah, that's what I was fixing to say. So Breakar calls it silly season whenever he's doing his videos for NASCAR teams and all that stuff. But yeah, this is pretty much what this is now. This is a lot of fun.
This is where you start seeing the new vehicles, the revamped ones, like we talking Bill Miller and Cruising Mule coming back. Sheltons are getting Preparation H revamped.
How many pros do they have at Farm Show, you think?
2.
Ooh.
I think 2, just for the sole sake. I think they're just going to limit it to 2 per team, especially in that class being at 48. I would not be surprised if they bring in Preparation H as the third one based upon its nostalgic look, older look, and being it's from the Harmons, you have a historic sense of being pro stock.
Harsh will be bringing back Beyond Limits and a new one as well. Really?
Yes, they are signed up for the Farley 50K, and I have laid eyes on that new pro stock.
Have you really?
Yes.
You
It is
ain't
good.
told me about- You ain't told me about that one, man.
I can show you pictures later. It's a good looking tractor.
Is it?
Dylan on that list as well, which would not surprise me if they apply it for Louisville, would be Simon's third.
Are you saying a comment that I'm not?
I'm just going off Dylan's Hearts bringing back Beyond Limits.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, is there? If there's another comment there, I don't see it.
Just Cruise and IH. Oh yeah, that's the one he's talking about. Diesel's Light Supers.
Oh,
that's a fairly old tractor.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go look it up on YouTube.
Beyond Louisville's Duel of the Fuels, I'm very interested to see the Keystone Nationals Superclass because it is a little bit of a mix. Everman's being one. Olden's will probably run it. Bradish will be there.
Meissig.
Yeah, they can probably chime in if they're going to be applying for there too. Is the new one of Hearts also Massey sheet metal?
We don't know.
Actually, believe it or not, I have not seen the front grill.
Don't show it on here.
No, I'm not.
Also, the old Delaware Ether Eater. Huh.
I'm going to be curious to see as well. I would love for Oldens to apply for Farm Show as well, being as they do have the new Deere chassis from Ace. I don't know if they have the engine in it yet, but that'd be quite interesting to see another Deere Super.
Meissig said yes, we're playing on Keystone. Sweet. I'm sitting here looking to. So I see this heavy super stock class from Alexander, New York, from Nick. He put this video up. I'm not going to put the audio up with it. I need some education here, just because I don't know how they have the class set up out there.
Turn the sound off.
Oh, is it on? You good?
Yeah. So, question I have for the people still watching. What do you think is going to be the most surprising or competitive class at Farm Show?
Yes.
What do you think is going to surprise you the most? Is it going to be the light pros and the variety? Is it the competitiveness of that class? Is it will Duel the Fuels or mods get shaken up with a different entry?
Okay, so we're running super stock, but here's Haywire running in here. Now here's Borderline Obsession pulling out too. Do they run supers and 4-1s together?
They're able to. I believe they're able to run. My six will be able to answer this question better than.
Yeah, I mean their tractor's just like in the background back there.
Oh, and a nice information tidbit here. The first component light pro stock was actually running in New York before it was ever Mullinex.
Yes, it was. And who did we end up finding out for sure it was them?
Yeah, Travis, the Chris family with just only it's only money, just money. It's the old 1066 Super that they put a light pro stock engine in on 30.5.
Trevor, I'm gonna say Lunkenheimer. Forgive me if I messed that up. He said, "Yeah, the 4-1s and the heavy supers all run together." Okay.
So on Empire they run together, but on New York they run separate. Correct?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the super farms that were out there in New York, they have gone to 4-1. A lot of them have gone to 4-1.
Now,
hey, why? You recognize this one?
Yes, I do. The old backdraft tractor.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for you northeastern running pullers, is there someone on the list we left off that you believe would be a more or less shoe in for farm show that we probably left off?
Yeah.
Because especially in this 4-1 class, there's definitely some names besides Audettes that run very well.
Okay, so now here's the trivia question, and you can't answer this because we know whose old sheet metal this is. But what pro stock used to run this exact sheet metal? Because it came right off the tractor and they put it onto this one.
I'll add on to that. What other tractor did this one used to be?
Ooh.
We need to start doing trivia where we give out stickers and stuff.
So let me throw this out there while we've got a good, decent portion size of the audience here still. And thank you guys for hanging out with us while we've been on doing this discussion rant thing. Would you guys be opposed to a trivia night type of thing? Say if we use the Kahoot.it app, and it's pretty simple to use. You just type in a code and you type in your name. It doesn't ask for an email address or anything. But what if we had a trivia night here on the Almanac? What would you guys think about that? Geezy's right too. And Baker and Yarrick. Man, you guys are good. They got that really quick.
The hood was a little bit more of a dead giveaway, but the one bad apple is correct. That the rear end, I believe most of the engine is out of the old one bad apple of Brian Beck, the most previous owner.
So did they move that motor over to Dream On?
No, because it was still Super Farms. James, you can answer this better than I can because you run with Brian.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, give me a response to that one. What would you guys think about a trivia night? Because we've been kind of weighing some questions back and forth, like, oh, would this be fun? Just try something different. While pulling season's we're waiting on it to get back going again. Maybe one night in December.
Okay, that's what I believe. Yeah, that's what I thought it was too.
Okay, apple sold with the engine in it. Okay. Geezy, what's your opinion on the trivia deal?
He's pretty good at it.
Opinions.
James is pretty good at it.
He's in. I'm afraid to throw up questions like this though, because I was actually something like that, and that they have a timer in there. Like after a certain amount of people answer, they just cut the time off.
There's a question that I have that would be easier answered without a Kahoot because it is definitely a Google search kind of question.
So, Chris, we know where the original sheet metal actually is.
Actually, one of our members has it.
Mm-hmm. Sure does. Rhett Parrish won Saturday night farm show. Man, it'd be fun to have a red one in the winner circle again on Saturday night at farm show. Really?
That'd be a question for Brian.
Yeah, it would.
Because we know where the top shields are. I don't know where the side shields are.
Yeah. Go for it. Geezy will put up prize money. Yeah, but Dean, that means you have to play.
Well, since most of these people like Curtis and Dean, and I don't know if Geezy's going to Midwest Internationals, but there'd be a good chance to do it there.
No, this would be something we do on this would be one of the shows one night.
Yeah.
Not necessarily on a Tuesday, just a random night. Or maybe it does need to be on a Tuesday.
Should I ask my trivia question?
Yes.
All right.
It seems like I'm willing to bet it's going to get done within 5 seconds the way we're going, but yeah, sure.
Probably. Who is the only or the first team or competitors to run all 6 sessions of Toma when they had 6 sessions?
Ooh. Maybe you should have saved that one. Geezy.
I've asked that question a couple times, and only a few have been able to get it, but they had to search it up to figure it out.
Would it be Roberts?
No. The only reason I know this is because we are parked next to them and we helped them do it.
Simon?
No, this is all the same vehicle. Ran
all the same vehicle.
Same vehicle, ran all 6 sessions at Toma. And I was told that this is the first time it has ever been done, and nobody had done it before.
How long ago was this?
I believe it was 20. I'm not going to say the year. I'm not going to say the year because they're going to be easily able to Google that.
Was it within our lifetimes?
Rose, no.
Good guess, though. Edson says, "Can I buy a vowel?"
Well, I'll give you one hint. It's not in the Midwest.
Oh, wow. That narrows it down so much.
So that's anywhere from Ohio east.
Yeah.
But Dean's on the right track with Rose. James, the question was, who was the only competitor or team to run all 6 sessions at Toma with the same vehicle in the same year? So they ran all 6 sessions, different classes.
Oh, hey, Kevin.
When Toma still had 6 sessions.
Yeah, Tim Engler. No.
No, because he did not run the light mod.
Oh, that's a fair point.
So this would have been light mod, and unlimited.
Gate and Yelly.
No.
Chris, is he still running?
Yeah, because I would like to know where a certain green diesel super stock that he had went.
If he still has it. Knox. All right, how long are you going to keep stringing them along here?
I'm waiting for him to get close because the team is actually east of New York yet. Bollinger's, no. Boyd's, no.
I haven't saw him out in 10 years. Well, I know he's been out. I just want to know with what. I know he has a tractor called Living a Dream now.
Yeah, the old Monkey Mayhem. I'm trying to figure out where Renegade Deer went.
That's another good guess.
Audit's grandpa. No, you're getting closer in the region, though. It's in the Vermont, Massachusetts area.
He meant Audette's grandpa is what he meant.
Yeah,
he meant Stone.
He meant Gardner Stone.
All right, we'll get a couple more guesses in here, and then we're gonna call it quits.
Yeah. It was said over that it was the first time it has ever been done.
Gayton is down to only Monkey Mayhem and Renegade Deers. Ooh, so where's Magnum Force and all that?
Magnum Force is, I believe it's Determination Team now has it.
Fintac.
No, that's still in New York.
That's another good guess, though.
It's in the Vermont, Massachusetts area.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go about another minute, and then we're going to get the answer away.
There it is. Rotten Mean.
Oh, Chris got it.
It was nice. Mike, that the Rotten Mean Nasty tractor. Oh, the Ferry Brothers was the first one to ever do it.
Awesome. Wow. All right, so just based off the participation there, that pretty well seals the deal that we're going to do a trivia night of some sort where all of you guys can participate. It will be completely free to everybody here that wants to participate. We've just got to figure out how big of a server to rent to be able to do it.
Do we allow Dan Mayer and Miles Krieger to just try and go over against anybody else?
Yeah, why not? I mean, the way this has been going, I'm convinced that some of these guys could give them a run for their own money, though. Yeah. All right, y'all. We've been going at this for an hour and 40 minutes. Thank you guys so much for being here with us. Is there anything else you want to cover?
No.
He said I'd pick Sparky.
No, we will get Super Farms, 4-wheel-drives, and diesel trucks predictions out one way or another.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we to get them out before the list actually comes out.
We will. Yeah, we'll put them out sometime this week. I mean, here's my thing. It's not fair to those 3 classes to not get spotlighted like this, like we have the other ones.
Right.
So, I mean, we might do them one night later on this week. We'll just we'll put a post up and be like, hey, we'll do these last 3.
Other than that, I got nothing else. Hopefully we just beat that 72% mark that we did last year for our first time ever.
I can already tell you right now, I've done screwed us on 4-1s. I'm calling it right now. I've done screwed us royally.
Gotta try and beat 104 for 144.
Yeah. Mr. Lindstrom, I sincerely apologize.
Anyway.
All right, y'all. With all that being said, this has been a long one. It's been a fun one. Do Super Farm. Yeah, they're going to be on our next one whenever we get the list out for those. We've just got to get access to them pretty much. Charles had something come up very, very, very last minute, and he legitimately didn't have time to get them to us. So we'll get them back out. I'll have to ask him. I haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, that'd be a
good
question.
Know he was thinking about shutting it down at one point.
That's a lot of work for one man to do.
Yeah. Let me ask y'all this real quick. One last question before we go. All of you guys that play fantasy football, I know that narrows down my audience just a little bit. What would you say if there was an app like that for pulling?
Where you build a team on you pick one vehicle per class?
Yeah.
And just run the whole season that way?
I mean, you can drop them if you know they break it per night or something like that. Good idea. Okay. That pretty well gives me the gauge response I want to see. No. I will set parameters. That will not happen.
That would have to. So yeah, you'd have to set parameters like per association, per class, stuff like that.
Okay, and here's how I've worked it out in my head. You'd pick an association that you'd want to do it for, granting that you can get all of the associations to be on board with it.
Correct.
And just do their classes. Like if you're in one group, you're doing Outlaws, you do Outlaw classes. If you're in another group, you're just doing PPL, and another group, you're doing NTPA. That would be my way of designing it, but
Right.
But all right, boys and girls, we will see you guys next time. We will let you guys know as soon as possible about those other lists. Do it by Harry's then on this one. He said do it by classes and association. You bet. So will it be like playing farm sim while farming? Geezy, are you doing that in the tractors? I know you can do it through a certain software.
Wild. Anyway.
I know. All right. Geezy said no. All right, y'all. We will see y'all next time. Anybody else that you guys can think of, shoot a text. Make sure you guys are liked, subscribed. Help us out on YouTube if you guys aren't subscribed. Even if y'all don't watch a lot of YouTube and y'all have an account, just go over there, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. Until then, we will see you guys next time.
Peace.